There's not even a link to post, bro. There's not even a link to post to Twitter right now.
Yeah, I just went live right now, so it should go.
But people have to have the link so they can go to it on YouTube, not just to watch it on Twitter, bro.
I see it right now, actually. Right, up top.
Yeah,
Nah, that's not.
That's not it.
That's the old one, bro.
Okay.
let me go ahead and do this other one.
Nah, man. Like this is all fucked up, bro.
Niner.
All right, it is what it is, bro. I'm gonna just. This is horrible.
Okay, so I'm gonna send out the link. So I hear the feedback. I don't know if Jay, if you got another window open.
Me, let me just see. Let me show you. I just have this one open for now.
No, I think you're good.
Yeah, I just saw the tweet go out. Let me retweet it.
I'm irritated, bro. But let's go.
All right. Jason, go ahead and let's go ahead and do some breakdown. Let's do that first.
For sure. So I mean, it's really up to you guys what you want. What you want to start with. I basically have about 5 or 6 plays, run plays and pass plays. That really show the complexity of Kyle's scheme. I mean, it's good for us to get in touch with what he's doing because he's going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
But it's really up to you guys. Do you want me to start with run plays? Do you want me to start with pass plays? The run plays, I'll say for sure. I really understand the pass plays. That's a little bit more simple. So the run plays we could start with first if you guys want.
Yeah, let's do the run plays.
Cool. So let me just share my screen real quick with you guys. Okay.
Dre, you gonna make sure you got another window or windows closed, or is it only one window?
My windows are all closed, bro.
Okay.
So let me pull up some run game.
Hey Jason, do you have headphones?
You think that'll be better?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. So I should just plug it into my computer like that, right?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, then I got you.
Roberto, what's up, bro? Deion Johnson, Roy Boy, Spy Nick, Sin, Terrell Cox, everybody out there, man. Just not a good day right now.
Hey, I blame the wifey, man. She gave me the wine, so a little bit like loose.
Nah, motherfucker, we're not blaming the wifey right now, motherfucker. We're not blaming the wifey, man. We apologize to everybody out there, man. This is the second week in a row where we had technical difficulties. And man, I guess it's just a learning curve, you know what I'm saying? Everything is a learning curve. It's episode 11. Things will get better. Yeah, shit happens.
Better, guys?
Yes, sir. That's better, bro.
Okay, cool, perfect. So you know, as far as the run game goes, a lot of the things that I found when I went back and I watched this past season was there's so much going on in all these plays, and the smallest detail can lead to either a huge gain or losing yardage. And I'll show you one really quickly.
Okay.
So, this is one. This one's basically an outside zone with a backside lock and an RPO. And I'm going to show you what all that means because Kyle is just beautiful when it comes to window dressing and moving people out of positions that they want to run the ball. Okay, so I'm going to hit play on here. So this was an easy game to watch, right, guys? We 50 burger on Carolina, right? But it's easy to get lost in the idea of like, okay, this is thorough domination, but you want to see how it happens, right? So let's show you real quick. So in this play right here, let me move this out the way because this can go up here. This play right here, you guys see all that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Up top, we've got Debo. You've got Kittle. You've got Dante Pettis and Kendrick Bourne, right? All split wide. And you see Tevin Coleman there. So the outside with the backside lock with the RPO is designed at times. The variation is to not block the 3 tech. Okay. In this case, the 3 tech is Gerald McCoy right here. right?
Right.
So one thing that, when we went into this Panthers game, the person that watches probably the most film and is the most maniacal about film on the defensive side for them is Luke Kuechly, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to highlight him right here because nobody does homework like this guy. I just want to highlight
And we,
how. Go ahead.
and we torched him all day.
Yes, and I want you to watch. I want you to watch how frustrated Luke Kuechly gets and how he's moved out of his position, and we immediately attack that. So let's start, and I'm going to start slowly. So we're lined up, right? And so now what you'll notice is you're going to notice Tevin Coleman's going to move, right? And you're already going to see Dante moving towards in the jet motion. So the jet motion, the window dressing, is because you're going to leave Gerald McCoy right here unblocked and force him to figure out whether this RPO is going to be either a run or pass play clearly, or if he's going to go down here to Pettis. So let's start it.
Right.
So we're moving, and boom. So you see Lincoln Tomlinson doesn't even pay Gerald McCoy any mind. He
Right.
goes right for Luke Kuechly.
Right.
So here's the mesh point right here. Now Gerald McCoy has a decision to make right here.
You back down, or you go
Right. All the smoke.
outside.
Exactly, and you're always taught, right? What are guys taught when the RPO came back into the league was attack the quarterback, right? You're not in a position to do either at this point. Like right now, you're in no man's land. So let's see. So here's the mesh point. Coleman's got the ball, right? And now he's starting to figure out that Coleman has the ball. Look, this is all blocked up. This is all man. So what I also wanted to bring up here too is if you notice, this was Kittle right here, not even trying to run a route. See him trying to block right up here, and Debo's giving you the streak to show that there's actually a route going on. But it's up to Jimmy what he wants to do here. So if he wants to hand this ball off, which he does, he can, and that's a big gain. But look at this down here. If he decides to pull this back in and toss it out to Pettis, that might not be a touchdown, but it's going to be a gainer for sure because you've got the numbers out here.
Right.
So here's the handoff, and here's Jimmy with the fake. This is all open. But look at this now. Look at Gerald McCoy, and he's so far behind now because he just figured out that Coleman has the ball. Look at this. He's trailing and chasing. Luke Kuechly's completely blocked up. Look at all this green.
Oh, my God.
And this all comes from the window dressing, honestly, the window dressing. So we'll play it from fully, right? Let's just play it and just watch it so you can just see it all happen as quickly as it does. Gerald McCoy's kicking his leg up like he's doing something here. And look at this. I mean, that's just stealing.
Wow.
That's just stealing, honestly.
I remember that play.
This is stealing right here. Look at Dante. Like, and he has his option to do whatever. Gerald McCoy's stuck right there. Like right there. I'll bring that back. He's stuck in no man's land right there. Like he has no idea what he's gonna do right here. The mesh point is right there. That's it. By the time you figure out Coleman has it, Gerald McCoy wanted all the smoke. He got all
got it.
He
definitely got that. You definitely got that.
Hey, Jason,
Yes,
before the next play breakdown, let's see if we can try to find out the feedback. Right now, where there's a feedback.
Okay.
So is there any, are you watching it on YouTube?
I'm not. No.
I don't have any feedback. It sounds like you're the only person that has feedback.
Oh, okay. So you guys.
I don't have any feedback at all.
Okay, we good then.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't hear it. Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Okay, cool.
All
right.
All right. So that's just one play, right? So
Yeah.
And some of these plays that I'm going to show you are going to be, considered, small gains, but it's just the small things, right? So here, I'm going to show you a big one. This is one that's going to get everybody excited, right? So this is first play from scrimmage against the Browns. We all know what happens here, right?
Right.
So this is what I want to show you guys. How many people are in the box right there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in the box.
So when I hear people from other fan bases say, "Oh, we know how to stop you guys next year. Everybody's going to flood the box." Well, that's been happening all year. And it was happening all year. Okay. So there's 8, right? There's 8. There's 5 linemen. You've got Kittle, another lineman. You got 7. So just watch the inside. This one's called inside zone week with a slice on 21 personnel. So meaning this is more window dressing from Kyle. This is again, it's easy to get lost in the sauce in this game. We blew them out. Same thing.
Right.
Here. All this is you're going to watch. Look, right there, Jimmy checked. You see everybody put their head up. They got it. Now they understand. Now look at Kyle. He moves this way. Now watch Kyle give a step to the right. Now look at here, and here. All the eyes are going this way.
Right.
Boom. The play starts to move that way. Kyle takes one step, and look, there's going to be one person that's unblocked, right? Because the numbers aren't there, right? It's 8
right,
on,
exactly.
It's 8 on 7. Look, one step right, one step back left. Kittle knows where he's going. He knows to leave him unblocked, and this is all attention to detail when it comes to this blocking scheme. Kyle steps, Kyle blocks.
Boom.
Oh my gosh!
You already know what's about to happen here, and that's it. Demaris Randall, good luck. Good luck. Yeah, like it's just stuff like that. It's small. It's all small stuff that happens, and if these things don't happen because the numbers aren't there, clearly it's 7 on 8.
Right.
But let's just watch it unfold. The way that you want to see it in full speed. One step, right back. Now that's it. Look at that hole. Like that like you can drive a truck through that hole. And this is the first play of the game, which kind of just sets off
tone.
Yeah, it just set the blowout for them. Like if you didn't I remember before that game, everybody talking about, okay, well, now the 49ers are going to get a test.
That's the real test, right? I remember that. Yeah,
it was against the Browns.
And see, that's what's beautiful about hindsight and everything, because everybody was big on the Browns, and even I considered this game to be a little bit of a test, and it was not a test at all.
Right.
So that's another good one. So also one more thing that I want to show you guys is that what Kyle Shanahan does very well is that he puts things on film in formations so you can see it, but then when you see it, he hits you with something else out of it. And I'll show you a perfect example of this. 2 plays. This is the same game, right? This is the Carolina game, right? So this is pretty much like this is when the game's getting out of hand at this point, right? So what I want you to notice is that let's just start playing it real quick. Okay, so let me pull this down here. You got Emmanuel Sanders, you got Kendrick Bourne, you got Debo coming on the jet motion, right? And what I want you to see here is this is Debo coming back over, right?
Right.
Now look, here's what you want to see. Everybody's looking at the jet motion again, the window dressing, right? So everybody's looking at Emmanuel Sanders, saying, okay, the jet motion is going this way. You have to keep your eyes on him, because if he hands that off to them, now you're essentially looking at George Kittle on the edge with a defensive back, and Emmanuel Sanders probably getting a great.
And even when you see it right now, if I had to guess, Emmanuel Sanders is the guy that's getting the ball.
Right.
But he's not.
He's not. Now look at this. Look, the fake handoff. Look, gets blocked up, and that's it. Let Debo work, man. Like that's and then now watch Luke Kuechly. Look at Luke Kuechly up here. Look at him up here. He's upset. He's upset.
Yeah.
He's upset. Let's bring it back real quick. So again, Luke Kuechly's a Hall of Famer and a guy who prides film incessantly, right? Like this is a guy who prides himself on preparation.
Right.
Look at how frustrated he is. Like he thinks he sees something coming, right? So we'll watch it again. Now look, what else I want you to notice too is what the jet motion does to the linebackers. The linebackers move with him. Okay, now they move exactly out of this space right here is where they want to attack. Exactly, and that's what the jet motion does. It makes them move over just a bit, and once they do, look at all this out here, to the right up here, and that's it. There's nothing you can do right there with that. So same energy. I want to show you a different clip. Okay, same exact thing, except this time the bunches are flipped. So this time, Debo's here, Kendrick Bourne's here, and Emmanuel Sanders is here, right? So we're gonna send the jet motion. We're gonna send it this way. Now look, that looks like the same play, handing it off to Debo, but going the other direction, right? So the Saints have been watching, right? They're like, oh, here it is. Here's what we've been looking for. Now nobody's watching Raheem Mostert. Look, everybody attacks Debo, flip to Sanders, and this is that's easy. That's easy. Look at the pass, and that's it.
Oh my God.
You already know that's a walk-in. So again, Kyle Shanahan plays games with you. He's going to put this on film. He wants you to watch the film. He wants you to understand that play, but he also wants to hit you with something else.
Right.
So just when you think you've got it, caught up, we can watch it from, I think this angle is the better angle too. We'll just let it play in full speed. But it looks like the same thing. They're like, okay, so they flipped the play this time. Nope.
Oh my God. Wide open. Nobody near him.
Nope.
Oh my God.
And honestly, that just speaks to the brilliance, honestly. So I'll show you something that's not exactly as sexy, right? I'll show you another one that's not as sexy. It's a touchdown, but I want to show you, like, this is the the attention to detail that so many guys on this team have, and you have to have in order to make this scheme work well, right? So this is again another blowout, right? It's easy to pick from games when the 49ers were basically doing what they want to do. But there's something impressive about this for me. So again, 30-8, this game's over. Spoiler alert, this is about to be a touchdown. But I want you to keep your eye on here on the bottom. Let me move this out the way. I want you to keep your eye on the bottom with Garrett Selleck here. So what Garrett Selleck does, we're going to start the play, okay? This is the same thing, inside zone, but this is a combo block that Selleck does so well. So look, he leaves the edge rusher right here by himself, uncovered. He's got a free run to whoever's going to touch the ball. Unfortunately, watch Kyle Juszczyk. Again, we saw him in the Browns play. Take a step, and look where he's going back to clean up.
That's why Dre's big on him.
Yes. And
that's why Dre is championing Kyle.
He's huge, bro. I mean, some people he's just as important as George Kittle, okay? And people don't realize that, but he's just as important in this offense as George Kittle. He's the catalyst, right? Like, we've seen what happens when Kyle Juszczyk is out of the game. Yes. Like, we go from averaging 149 yards a game rushing to 98 yards rushing, right? Correct. And we struggled to beat the Cardinals.
Yes.
Without George Kittle, we won. Yeah. We had problems without Juszczyk. Right. Now, I'm not saying that Juszczyk is better than George Kittle. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the way he fits in the scheme and what he does in this scheme, it's just as important as George Kittle, bro. It's no different. Now, if you add the receiving aspect, okay, George Kittle has the edge there. But if you're talking about just pure play technique and what he does for this offense, what he does in the running game, it's equal. It's equal, man. That dude can split out and play tight end. They put him in the slot. He could also play fullback. He's just as important as George Kittle in this offense.
For sure. And I think it just lends itself to basically what we've been seeing while Kyle's been building this roster is positionless football. So, like you said, line Kyle in the slot. They have designed plays for Kyle. I can think off the top of my head, the Seattle game, Seattle scores in week 17 and we need to answer right back. And they dip in the bag and they get Kyle Juszczyk out on Michael Kendricks, and that's not even fair. That's just taking it, and Jimmy hits him.
And then Kendricks tears his ACL on that play, trying to run Juice down. I mean, those are things that I mean, hey man, Juice is that guy, bro. Juice is that guy, bro.
And I think that when I started to look at these run plays, I started to realize that more and more. Because it's easy to look at the numbers, just like Dre said, the numbers go down substantially when Kittle and Juice aren't in there as far as run blocking. But when you start to see it on film and you start to see, because again, he's showing you that he's going left, right?
Right.
He comes right back
in one step.
Right. And knowing full well that this edge rusher right here, I believe that's Darius Smith. If it's not Preston, one of the two Smiths. And he's down and so there's a crevice right there only because of Kyle right there. But look, what I wanted to point out was this. Look at Garrett Selleck right here, right? So Garrett Selleck helps, right, on the guard right there, but understands that he needs to get to the second level and
he pops out.
Close off that lane. Close off that lane. And then let Raheem wiggle. That's too easy.
Oh my God.
Those boys don't want to tackle over there in Green Bay, right? So let's just run it. Let's just run it in full speed so you can see it. Just again, Kyle to the left, right back. Boom, wiggle, touchdown. The route continues. All these small things. Like I said, if Juszczyk does not pick up this block, that's a tackle in the backfield.
Right.
Here it is. Boom. And that's it.
Oh my God.
That's just easy. God. That's stealing. And we get to face them again next year. So
all right. So we got one. Let's do one more run.
Yep.
Breakdown.
For sure. I'll show you an easy one. I'll show you an easy one. This one doesn't really have too much. Again, it's really easy to cherry pick these ones from, a game where the 49ers dominated. But again, I want to show you what window dressing does to a defense. So we're going to start here. I want you to keep your eye. Look, I am not trying to bash Luke Kuechly or anything like that. It's just there's so many plays that show you him being out of position and how frustrated he was all day trying to keep.
And it's great when you can make a Hall of Famer look bad.
Yes, I mean, hey, exactly, and all the respect in the world to him because I know how hard that guy works on preparation. So that's what's impressive to me. So we're gonna start. Let me bring it back. Okay, so just watch the simple motion. This is there's nothing really fancy here. Okay, look, Kendrick Bourne is moving now. Look at all three linebackers move out of the lane that they want to get into. Okay, look at Dwelly. Dwelly comes back over and sells that this is going another way, and that's it. Look at this hole right here because they all moved out of the way. And goodbye. You're not going to catch. You're not going to catch. Look, this angle that Dante Jackson's trying to take right here. You're not going to. You're not
going to catch.
You're not going to catch Raheem Mostert right.
You're not.
So I'll just let it play. I'll let it play full so you can see it one more time at real speed. Just watch Luke Kuechly here. Move. You're out of the way. Now you're chasing, and that's it. Look at him. Look at him flailing his arms. And that's already when the game's well in hand. Is that Nick Mullins? Is that Nick Mullins? It's Nick Mullins. It's Nick Mullins. And Trey Boston. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call him Dante Jackson. Trey Boston. Sorry.
And that's the guy that everybody
wanted.
We need to sign Trey Boston. No, we don't. We poached him. Oh my God.
So guys,
good breakdown, Jason, on the running game.
These run plays, these are so interesting, man. I love watching. I can watch it all day. It's just really like I'm nowhere near tapping into exactly all the things that they do, but these just jumped out at me just because there's so many things that are going on, but it's so simple. It is simple. Yeah. It's simple and complicated, if that makes any sense.
I am on the Jet McKinnon train, man.
Yeah, man, me too. I am too. I have two reasons why. One, because Tevin Coleman gets a lot of hate, right? But I understand why they use Tevin Coleman the way they do, right? He gets the tough yards in between the tackles. He kind of it's kind of like when Kyle puts him in the beginning, he kind of like boxers, like right there, they're sizing each other up. You're getting a few jabs and you're just trying to figure out where it is. That's what he does with Tevin Coleman, right? He sees what you're doing, and then by the time he knows what you're doing is when he unleashes Raheem Mostert.
Tevin Coleman is the setup man.
Yes.
He's the reason why you're seeing those 25, 30, 40-yard runs from those other guys. Tevin Coleman is the setup guy, bro, and people don't realize that.
Let's go, Tico.
Yeah.
Like, people do not realize that, man. He's the guy that's going to run in between the tackles, and he's going to gain. He only averaged 4 yards a carry last year, right? But if you look in the NFL, 4 yards a carry is pretty damn good. I mean, you do that
super good.
That's a first down.
Right. 4 yards is what you should have, pretty much.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, he'll get a 2 or 3 yard gain, and then Kyle puts in Mostert or he put in Breida, and then look what happens. It's all set up because of Coleman. Yeah. He is the switch of speed back. Right. He's not the guy that's a speedster, but he can run a 4.4. But when you put somebody in there who can run a 4.3 in game speed, that's a lot different. Absolutely. So it messes the defense up. The timing is off.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm getting chills.
No, absolutely. And I think that, like I said, a lot of people, were like, okay, why isn't Mostert starting? But this is why. Like again, remember, Kyle is a guy who he scripts his plays, right? Yeah. He pretty much, when he starts the week and he starts preparation, this play leads this play, one after another, right? So every play has a purpose to lead to the next play. And like I said, just like a boxer, when the fight starts, you're sizing them up. Once you get to where, okay, this is where I'm going to attack you, and this is where I'm going to attack you with Raheem Mostert. You let that defense wear down a little bit. They've been taking a pounding because of all the running that you've been doing with Coleman, and then you unleash the speedster. It works.
Right.
It works.
Right.
But going to your point about Jet McKinnon, I'm in on McKinnon. Two things. One, the organization has pretty much already told you what they feel about him, because for somebody to not play 2 years and not play it down and have them find a way to restructure him and bring him in, it's clear that they want him a part of this offense.
Right.
And what he brings in terms of speed, that only thing that he does that Mostert doesn't have that McKinnon has is the route running chops. That's it. We don't have a third down back that we can send out, like most of the times, or catch screens and things like that. Like Mostert has, Coleman has, but I feel that McKinnon unlocks another portion of the offense that can be great, because now you're talking about adding another safety valve. And this is a good segue into the pass game, because what I found in a lot of the pass plays and concepts is that they try to dial back Jimmy's reads almost. Not to say that Jimmy can't read or go through progressions, because I'll show you instances of both, but they try to dial it back where, okay, pre-snap, you look at one side or the other side of the field, that's where you're going with the ball. And one of those guys is going to be open, pretty much. And if not, then you throw the ball away. But if you can add a Jet McKinnon, somebody who can get into space with the ball in his hands, he's going to be horrible to tackle. It's going to be a nightmare.
Right.
And you can have him out of the backfield. That just unlocks so much more to this offense.
Right. Right.
That's the key word right there. Unlocks so much more.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, the apprehension by the fan base. They paid him a lot to not do anything, things like that. That's fine. But again, just listen to what the organization is telling you. Outside, forget the quotes. For them to restructure his contract and bring him in. And remember, Kyle picked him first. He signed him before everybody else. Like, it was like one of the first.
He was the first free agent to get a big contract.
Yes. And people were like, well, I don't understand why he fits. Okay, so remember, they spent really nothing on Coleman. Breida was an undrafted free agent. Same thing with Mostert. So we're not paying running backs, like that. It's just that, when you see that large contract and you see a guy not play for 2 years, I can understand the apprehension. But if this man is full go, as we've seen all off season and we think he is, this is something that you should get excited about.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's get into them pass plays.
Yeah, let's see some pass plays real quick. So I'm gonna start when I start talking about them. I'm gonna start talking about the actual concept. So I'm gonna start with something that's called a 2-man stick. So basically, a 2-man stick is something that is simple, quick. There's one stretch route that clears out everything, and then there's an out. Okay, so the stretch route keeps the defenders honest, and it's basically just for quick passes, right? So we all know that Kyle's offense is all quick passes, right? And that's pretty much what it is. So I'm gonna start with one. Let me start with the second Rams game. Okay, so I want you to take note of the score because it's 21-10, and I know that the big knock on Jimmy is, okay, well, if you need him to throw you back into a game, can he do that? I think we saw in this game that he could because the defense, let's just say, didn't play up to its standard in this one, right? We could all agree on that.
Yep.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo was top. I think he was top 3 when it came to 4-quarter comebacks. He was top 3, bro. Like he won us 5 games simply on his arm. So I don't know. I don't get what people are talking about when it comes to that, but it is what it is.
Right. So the progression reads will go in this one, flat arrow stick, and then the backside combo. So basically, you're gonna look to 2 options that you have on the left side of the field, and then you can make your way to your third read, which is what I'm gonna show you right here. Okay. So the 2-man stick is on the left side. I mean, on the right side here on this play. Okay, so you're gonna watch George Kittle. So right here, we've got Kendrick Bourne, we've got Emmanuel Sanders. We're gonna have one clear out route, and we're gonna have one comeback route. But I want you to keep your eyes on Jimmy Garoppolo and what he sees, and how he moves through the progression.
Okay.
So we're gonna start the play. Okay, look, he looks left. Okay, so the flat route here, the out route from Coleman. These are his design safe routes. Now look. He has to wait for Coleman to turn his back. He can't throw the ball here to his side because he's never going to be able to turn his head, catch it, and properly turn, right?
Right.
So this is all man right here, right? So he doesn't like what he sees because obviously this man chasing Coleman right here is blocking his throw to Debo, right? So this is a man. Let's just watch him do it again. We're going to go through it slowly. We're going to watch him go left, look on his left, which is what he saw because there's only one defender over there, okay? Now this is man. He sees it. Now look, this is what's impressive. His eyes immediately go right back to George Kittle, who is flying open right here. Now, that ball needs to come out immediately, right? So the ball, as soon as he sees his foot and he's turning,
that shit needs to come out right there.
Right? Kittle hasn't even turned. Ball's out. And it's a dime. It's right in there where it needs to be, and that's perfect. Now, I'll play it from here in normal speed, but that's basically what a 2-man stick is on the other side. So you'll just watch Coleman take the defender with him, but he gets in the way of the first throw, which is Debo. See him look left, dime. Like when people say that Jimmy can't go through progressions, I don't think that's his issue at all. I think it's the opposite. I think that when you see some of those throws where you're just like, oh my God, what was that? Is sometimes he doesn't see the linebacker sliding back in the coverage sometimes.
Right.
Clearly, Jimmy Garoppolo has things that he needs to work on, but I don't think that progressions are the thing that he needs to work on.
Right.
But I know that that's a knock by a lot of fans and things like that about him. And that's fine. Look, year 2 in this offense, like I said, a lot of these reads and these pass plays that I'm going to go to are just going to show you that they try to make it very simple for him in the beginning. And imagine this is Jimmy Garoppolo in year 1 in this system, and the training wheels are on. I can't imagine that that's going to be the way it goes going forward this year.
Right.
especially considering I'm pretty certain that the 49ers are going to have to throw more to win some more games.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason that I say that is because the defense was producing at an all-time level last year, and I don't know if it's smart to bet on that happening again. The defense can be elite, but not be at the same level last year. Both can be true.
Right.
Okay, so here's another game, right? So this is the first Cardinals game, right? Where you mentioned Halloween night, we kind of struggled, right? So this is a dragon concept, which is, I'm going to show you right now. So I want to show you up top. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Oh, yeah, so it came back on. Okay, so the dragon concept up top, you're going to see Richie James, everybody's favorite receiver, right? It's a dual read concept with a quick game concept on the opposite side. So it's going to be slants and a two-man stick. The two-man stick is going to be down here. It's going to be up top, actually. I'm sorry. I'm going to play it again. The two-man stick is going to be up top. And you're going to watch George Kittle once this plays again. You're going to watch George Kittle again. Now, George Kittle right there, that motion, what that did, that's not the same thing as the jet motion on the running play, but what that did was identify man coverage. And the dragon is actually really good for beating single high, which you'll see up here, right? So we've got single high and we've got man everywhere else, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start. So Kittle's coming back over here. Cool. We identified that it is now a man coverage, and we've got this gentleman down here. Can't remember his name. He's coming on a blitz. So the reason that they designed these short throws on the dragon with these slants is to get the ball out. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo was pressured more than any quarterback by the blitz.
And he had the highest percentage rate.
Correct. So these throws are all designed to beat all those things. So we're going to run it. So he's got it. Now, look, Richie James is up there. He's got a little bit of a cushion up here. This looks a little crowded right here, right? But the problem is this. See Breida? Now this linebacker's chasing Breida. And that opens up the middle, and this is just easy. Look at that. That's easy.
Yeah, that's pitch and catch.
That's pitch and catch, and then you let Emmanuel do the rest, honestly. That's easy. That's light right there. Those are the concepts that we run when it comes to blitz, and I'll let you see it here. It's a beautiful thing to see it from this angle as well, because you get to see how beautiful the throw was itself. See again, here comes the blitz, gets picked up, get that ball out. And that's it. I mean, this whole offense is based on slants, quick throws. You know, if you notice, when Kyle identifies a receiver that he likes, it's always after the catch guys, Debo, Brandon Ayuk. Those are the similar type guys, and those are the type of routes that they need to run, and that they bring them in to run. So,
right.
I really enjoyed watching that one because it really brings to light, you know, how effective these concepts are when you know what's coming, right? So that was a really good one for me too. Let's see. I want to show one because Marcus Peters got baked a bunch of times, whether he played for one team or the other against the 49ers. Okay.
Torch that boy.
Yes.
Torch that boy.
Yes. Yes. And I want to show you one because I feel like you know, the base is down on Dante Pettis right now, but I want to show you a little bit of what he still can do. And I'm going to show you, this is a dragon stick concept as well here too. So as you notice, the 49ers are down in this game. Okay.
Yep.
So we've got Marquise Goodwin up top. Marquise, all the best in Philly. I hope you go out there and you crush it. You've got Dante Pettis down here. You've got Coleman here. Let me move this out the way. And you got Kittle down here. And you got Ross Dwelly actually going out, right? So Ross Dwelly's basically going out there just to show you. Yeah, just to show you that somebody's going to be out there. And also to help identify the man coverage. But essentially, this is a two-man game right here, okay? We're going to have Goodwin run the clear out. And I want you to watch Dante Pettis on Marcus Peters. There's not really too much more that needs to be said, but there's no read that needs to be made here, okay? Just watch Jimmy Garoppolo's head when the play goes. I'm just going to play it normally, okay? I just want you guys to watch two things. Dante Pettis, and I want you to watch Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. So, look, Tevin Coleman moves over. Again, man, he moves the linebacker out of the way. Dante Pettis is baking Marcus Peters.
Oh, my God.
You got baked twice. Now, let me bring it back for you real quick because I want to show you this is what really gets me excited about this route.
Baked beans.
Ready? So here we go. So we're going to watch Pettis take off. Now, see the first step? The first step gets him the leverage. Peters is already backpedaling, and now he's gone, right? So he's got leverage right there. Now, watch the second step here. Watch him put his foot in the ground right there. Now, look. Here's Jimmy.
Oh, the ball's out.
The ball's out. Look, he hasn't even turned his head yet. Now he's turning his head. The ball's out. Too easy. Too easy. Too easy. Look at that. That's what Dante Pettis can bring, and that's just a concept with the dragon and the 2-man stick as well too. The 3-man stick is a new variation too that they have, but it's a bit of it's really for like third down situations and something that's kind of close. And I'm gonna show you one. Where is it? This one. So this is a 3-stick. This was the Mud Bowl, right? This game, the 49ers won 9-0. It wasn't a lot of passing because it was just pouring rain. Trust me, I was at this game. I know how bad it was out there.
Word.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It's one of the worst games I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But the same thing happens here, right? With the 3-man stick. So the 3-man stick is always designed to go to the sticks, right? Clearly, right? So it's third down. You got Richie James, Kendrick Bourne, Dante Pettis, George Kittle, and now you got Tico going out to the right. Okay. So again, we're gonna run this. Let me make sure I got this right. All right. So we're gonna run this up here. So you see Coleman. Now look. So right here, he's calling him out and saying, "Okay, go get him." But that's really window dressing. That's not where the throw was. George Kittle's the option here. Okay, and George Kittle is gonna run an option route himself. I don't know why I said it like that. Didn't mean to put it both like that, but so what I want you to watch is Kittle right here. Look, give him the little shimmy. Boom. Again, now he's already hit him with a move where this defender is already to the right. So
he's out of position, bro.
Yeah, of course.
He's out of position.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Now look. Now what George does is he uses that leverage that he already has to get his body into the defender and push him away and get open. And then look, this ball's out. It's raining. It's pouring at this game. I know right now. It's pouring.
Right.
The throw's a little high, but that's why you pay George Kittle the big bucks. And look, he gets to the sticks. He makes his move in.
That kind of looks like Dwight Clark.
Yes, something. Yep.
Yeah, that
definitely does. Definitely does. That's a great point. And that's easy, right? So let's just play it. Let's just play it again from here, and you'll see even better. It'll just watch George Kittle right here, guys. This is easy. Look, route running 101. Give me that. You're too little. So that's a 3-man stick. So the 3-man stick is always to the sticks. Again, these aren't. See, that's not a splash play, right? So that doesn't look exciting.
Right.
But these are all things that they run in certain situations. Again, when they run the concepts where Jimmy doesn't have to go through reads or anything like that, that works. When he has to go through his reads, he can. And then when you have something where it's basically just trying to get to the sticks, you can. This is the last one I'm going to show you guys. This was a virtualized, guys. This was the missed kick. What's the kid's name? McLaughlin, whoever's the whatever, he missed the kick, unfortunately, which would have won us this game, and we could have swept the Seattle, which is a little disappointed. But all right, so what I want you guys to notice up here too, sorry, this is playing a little bit slower. Okay, so you got Debo down here. I believe that's Dante Pettis, if I'm not mistaken, and that's KB right there, right? Yeah, right. Okay, so what you're looking at is you're going to have a clear out up top. KB and Dwelly down here are going to run outs, but they're going to run outs to the sticks, okay? The clear out's going to happen up here, and the clear out's going to happen down here, so you'll see. So we're starting. Now look, so Kendrick's just trying to get to the sticks because he wants to give him another safe throw. So again, these concepts are safe throws for Jimmy, right? Especially this is third down. This is the money down, right? So we're gonna bring it back. Oh, my bad, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so we'll bring it here. Okay, so now Dwelly gets to his spot, and that's it. Look at all this space that he has here. Again, Jimmy's not looking anywhere else. This is a two-man read. This is him and him getting to the sticks. KB and Dwelly. Now you're just gonna run this out because you want to get this defender out of there. And down here, this is just to keep people honest. So,
right.
Here we go. And look, boom. Look at where the sticks are. So he caught it short, right? It looks like. Nope. That was a big conversion. Big conversion in that game. So we'll play it one more time. And this is just a 3-man stick. This is really, really, really simple for Jimmy. Bobby Wagner, get up there.
Right. Nope. You can't do it.
So I can stop sharing my screen. I think we've touched on enough. But
yeah, we definitely did, bro.
But yeah, man, I mean these are all things. These are all things that I found from watching, and it's just exciting to go into next year knowing that all these guys are going to have another year under their belt. Jimmy's going to be improved. There's no way that Jimmy doesn't improve next year. I just don't see how it's possible for him to regress. And with everything that they're looking to add, we already have the run game. If you're adding in McKinnon, if we can get Debo back at full strength. I'm just crossing my fingers because I don't want to seem too overly optimistic about it. If we can get that entire team, despite losing Sanders, who helped everybody, this is going to be an offense again that's going to be tough to stop. And again, I am of the mind that they're going to have to score more points this year than they did last year. They're going to be the schedule's tougher. They've got the bullseye on their back now, and everybody's going to go into the season thinking that they know how to stop this offense, and I doubt that's going to happen. I really doubt that.
Yeah.
Good take.
Yeah, man. I just want to know, like, where did you learn all of the terminology?
So that's a great question. So I'll be honest with you guys. When I first started getting into this breakdown stuff, like I knew the normal stuff. Anybody could see the leverage stuff. Like that's stuff that you don't need to be taught or anything like that. There is, and I encourage anybody out there. I don't know the man personally, but there's a book out there that's called the 49ers Offensive Manual from last year. It's written by a man named Bobby Peters. Really opened my eyes, honestly, when I started to understand it comes with diagrams. It comes with, what each player is supposed to be doing on these things. He even has a little section that says, why did this play work and why did this play not work? So it's on Amazon, guys. I think it costs like maybe $20.
Nice.
So I don't know the guy. I'm not plugging it for him, but because you asked about where the terminology was, I'll be remiss in saying that I don't, that's like I just understood all this out of nowhere. No, that's not true. Like I actually sat. It took me a long time. Like I had to read it a few times. I'm still not done with it. There's a lot in there that I still have to unpack because he breaks it down against the over coverages, against underlines, and all those things, and the success rates and all that stuff. So it's a great read for anybody who wants to really understand the complexities and the small things that this offense has to offer.
Man, that's what's up, bro.
It's on Amazon, guys. I would encourage anybody who has any downtime right now or anything like that. If you're looking, it's helped me understand more, and that's why I sound like I'm so well versed in this. But it's because I really read that book, honestly.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So yeah, man, we're gonna go into. Go ahead, Bronx. My bad, bro.
Oh no, it's cool. So yeah, just wanted to give shout out to you have a podcast too, right?
I do. I have I don't have a 49ers podcast. I have a hip hop podcast. I appreciate that. And hey, I would love to have you guys on there because I'm certain that you guys are into hip hop just like I am. Yes. But me and my friend Shirley Trills, without a Z at the end, it's a S. He always says that on our podcast. We do a weekly podcast about hip hop where we discuss new music, things that have been going on, stuff like that. Like basically, we're going to be recording on Tuesday after the Fabulous and Jada battle. So
there's a battle. Oh, they're finally battling. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to battle on Monday. So that's something that's basically the two things that I'm most interested in. Are like hip hop and sports, but football more than anything, and obviously 49er football. So I appreciate that.
How'd you get with the 49ers web zone?
So I joined when I joined Twitter, which I want to say was like right before the Rams Patriots Super Bowl. I really had always wanted to start writing, right? So I started writing for a small website, got on there, and Twitter's amazing for this, guys. If you're not utilizing Twitter to build relationships, then you're doing it wrong. Someone came to me and said, hey, listen, this article that I read was really cool. Would you like to try, 49ers web zone? So I connected with the editor, David Bonilla, who's a great guy also. Shout out to him. Mm-hmm. Connected with him, sent them some samples, and, the rest is history from there. So, they were able to let me in on there, and I'm able to create content for them. And it's been the best thing that's ever happened because I've connected with 49ers fans in a way that I would have never been able to do if I wasn't a part of such a big site.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah. Big ups to you, man. Yeah. I like the way you break it down and, keep up the good job, the good work, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, I'll be writing more articles. Like I said, I'm not even halfway through all of these concepts and everything else as well, too. But if you guys are on Twitter, follow me on there and, you can look out I post film clips at times. I know it's hard to get all this across because I feel like this was perfect because you're able to describe it better than in a few tweets. You're not able to do it. And, you have a certain amount of words to say. Whatever explanation.
Yeah.
This is perfect, honestly. This whole idea of being able to break it down with you guys. And again, I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So we got some subjects that we want to go over with you. Mm-hmm. First subject that I want to go over with is Dante Pettis.
Okay.
Now, there's been a talk of a possible trade to the Texans.
To the Texans?
Yeah, for a wide receiver named Kiki Kute. Over the last 2 years, he's had 50 receptions for 41 yards, which is kind of comparable to Dante. I think it might be like really close to right on the money. I mean, what do you think about that? You know, because I think that Dante deserves another chance, especially with Debo going down. And I've been a guy that says Dante should not be on this team, right? Like, I can't stand Dante Pettis. I don't feel like he's dedicated to football, right?
Okay, I've seen that.
Like he has a lot of other interests, and those interests sometimes might overshadow what his football career is, right? But with Debo Samuel's going down, we kind of need Dante to step up this year, right?
For sure.
But, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Trey. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but this article came out about 4 or 5 days ago saying that there's a possible trade for Dante Pettis to the Texans. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Do you know anything about Kiki Kute?
I do, actually. I do. So here's the thing. Kiki was drafted and was really looked at highly in the Texans organization. Now, here's the issue, right? Do you trust what Bill O'Brien thinks? Because he clearly doesn't know how to evaluate his own players and evaluate trade value when he's sending DeAndre Hopkins away for a bag of balls.
Right.
Here's the issue, though. Kiki was always a guy who kind of runs underneath routes, slants, which, right, that might fit.
That's what Jimmy does.
Right, that might fit Kyle's thing. The issue is that his thing is injuries. Like Dante fell into the doghouse because of running wrong routes and things like that, and things that he didn't really do right in practice. If I remember correctly.
Right.
Kiki Kuti has been injury riddled since he's been in the league. So trading Dante Pettis for a guy who's injury prone and does not have the same exact route tree, because excuse me, guys, Dante Pettis runs better routes and he runs more routes.
Right.
I would not be doing that at all. I mean, I would never take a chance on a guy who's been constantly injured to a guy who right now, like you said, Trey, and this you nailed it on the head. Whether you wanted Dante Pettis on this team or not, that's up to you, and I understand why you wouldn't. But right now, with Debo out, I tweeted it immediately. Dante Pettis has been thrown a life preserver. If this is not the time, remember that. Yeah, if this is not the time for him to jump in and be the person that Kyle Shanahan wants him to be or sees him to be, then it's never going to happen. So this is it right here. This is his make or break time, because I really want them to take their time with Debo. I look at the first 4 weeks and I see a team that can easily be 3-1, 4-0, even without Debo Samuel.
Right.
Because of the quality of opponents.
Right.
If we started the season with the Saints, the Seahawks twice, and Green Bay,
we might be in trouble.
Rushing back. But if we have that luxury of being 3-1, we're going to face the Giants, we're going to face the Jets, we're going to face the Cardinals. Those are 3 wins that we can have easily. Right. Even with a slip up in the first 4 games, they can be 3-1.
Right.
But I am against the Kiki QT for Dante Pettis thing. No way.
All right, good shit, bro. Good shit. Yeah, because I didn't necessarily know anything about him. I just heard that he's pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I knew about him.
Look, they loved him. They wanted to pair him with Fuller and Hopkins. He was perfect for them because Hopkins is a guy who can do it all. Fuller takes the top off, and QT can sort of run those intermediate routes. But unfortunately, with all those injuries, and he fell into the doghouse, because you have to remember over there in Houston, even without Hopkins right now, it's Cooks, it's Fuller, it's Kenny Stills.
They got some dogs.
Right. And then it's Kiki QT, and they added Randall Cobb.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, all right. Well, that kills that. Dante definitely needs to stay.
Real quick, there's a comment I want to bring up here from Diner Drag. So, Jason, you mentioned the offense sometimes is simplified for Jimmy G. Can it be like that for rookie receivers? So much talk about the rookies won't get on the field because of playbook. So,
thank you for that question. I appreciate that. Now, my thing is this: it's not going to be simplified for wide receivers. It's just not. There's so many things. There's so many aspects to being a wide receiver in this offense, right? It's not just running routes. If Kyle identified you, it's because he loves the way you run routes, but also you need to block. You need to block. Like, if you cannot block and if you're unwilling to block, you will not see the field. And I think that the best example to point to is look how well Debo played after he got settled in for the entire year, right? It didn't start from week 1, right? Like,
he was blocking.
And his snap share went up above 65% and never got under that when they were comfortable with him, and you saw the change. So it's gonna be tough. This is what scares me about Ayuk. Just because you were there, running routes with Jimmy, I love that. That's great and everything as well too.
And Jimmy didn't get to do that last year. Let's bring that to the forefront.
Exactly.
He was injured.
Exactly.
So he didn't get to build any type of cohesion with his wide receivers last year. Exactly. He didn't get that. He came straight into camp, and that's all he had.
Exactly.
So being able to get that this year, it really does us a service. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I concur.
You're great, Trey. No problem. It's so that's my concern with Ayuk is that if we're not able to get a full training camp with him, is that he may be a little bit behind the curve. Again, this brings Dante Pettis back into the forefront because you have 2 years in this offense. You've shown success in this offense with a backup quarterback. Now, the flip side to that is that a lot of people, when they talk about Pettis, is that they say that he had a lot of his success with Nick Mullins, which he did. Now, remember, who's throwing you the ball mostly, especially when Jimmy was rehabbing? You built that rapport with Nick Mullins. We need you to have that rapport with Jimmy G as well.
Facts.
So I'm a little bit skeptical when it comes to that. As far as simplifying the playbook for wide receivers, it's just going to be work and it's just going to be repetition. So it's not going to be simplified. They simplify the reads for the quarterback, and it's not just Jimmy G because they did this with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan also would see the same sort of things. It's just that Matt Ryan, look, don't kill me, 49ers fans. Matt Ryan has a better deep ball than Jimmy G. That's it. That's it. I'm not trying to say it, anything bad. I'm just, when you watch the film in year 2, Matt Ryan was dominant. He won the MVP. And they were minutes away from winning the Super Bowl. He throws a little bit of a better deep ball.
Right. All right. So the next subject is we already talked about it a little bit with Grant Cohn. He was actually the one that was Grant was just quoted on The Herd with Colin Coherd a couple of days ago about this topic, and that's Jamaal Adams. When Grant brought it up, it was just kind of like, maybe a pipe dream. He's coming available. He wants to be traded. Now it's really heating up. Like, it's actually being talked about amongst the franchises. How do you feel about it? And what package would you give up for Jamaal Adams?
Me? Oh, my goodness. So did you guys see the crazy Jet fan trade on Twitter?
Yeah, bro. I went in on him. He blocked me. I went in on him. So we're not giving up Emmanuel Mosley. We're not doing none of that shit.
So imagine, tweeting out. I think the guy wrote an article about it too. And I think, like me, now that I'm a bit of a content creator, I think there's a line in the sand that you have to kind of draw. It's like, okay, are you going to be somebody who's going to be doing things for clicks? Or are you going to be one of those guys that is doing things for, to try to at least make a point or something like that? Like I feel my writing is boring. I'll be honest with you. I don't have these outlandish takes in it or anything like that. Like if, that article that connected us, the one that I just put out, it has no comments on it. Like that, and if you start to see some of the articles that are out there, you'll see people like with their pitchforks out and things like that. I don't necessarily myself write that way. But if you do write that way, just like this Jets fan, be prepared for the backlash. Like, if you're going to be riling people up, make sure that you understand that you're going to get killed online for it and be able to handle it.
Right.
So, this Jets fan, in case for anybody who doesn't know, this Jets fan laid out a trade where we are going to be trading Deebo Samuel and Emmanuel Mosley for Jamaal Adams. This is not the NBA. This is not the NBA. There's no 2-for-1 trades. This is 2-for-1. Like, I don't understand this. Why would the 49ers trade their second best cornerback and their best receiver for Jamaal Adams?
It's not going to happen.
No. A package that I'll be honest with you guys, and you guys can, fight me on this one. I don't want to do it. I don't want Jamaal Adams. I understand the player that he is. I understand the player he is. I get it. I get how good he is. Trust me, I get how good he is. I believe that the 49ers are doing things the right way with their own. Like, listen, again, it goes back to the Jerick McKinnon point. Jimmy Ward was a guy that this fan base for a long time despised, did not talk well about, and finally, when he was healthy and the team showed faith in him last year, him and Kwon Williams are the two most underappreciated defenders on this team.
Straight up,
both top fives in their position in the NFL.
Easily, and watching Jimmy Ward knock balls out at the last second and play, and it was amazing to see. Okay, the 49ers are building a culture, right, where they don't need to make these splashy moves, right? You understand? I don't understand why people are so down on Kwaski, and I don't understand why people are just like, look, the name is a big splash. I get it. I don't want Jamaal Adams. I don't. And if we do get him, we would have to give up very little. I don't want to give up a player in a pick. No, I don't want to do that. If they want to take and this is never going to happen because of the quality of the player Jamaal Adams is. If they want to take a second or a third, now we're talking, but that's not going to happen. The Jets would never take that.
Right.
So it's nice and it's fun to think about. It's fun to think about what this defense could look like with a player like Jamaal Adams because he is that good. And let me also preface this by saying Jamaal Adams is better than Kwon. That's fine, but it doesn't mean that that's something that we have to do because you have to pay. We have to pay?
And this is the thing. This is what I said. Everybody, the only thing that we complain about with Kwon or Jimmy is they don't get interceptions. Neither does Jamaal Adams. The dude has 2 interceptions in his career.
Right.
He's not a ball hawk.
No,
he's a box safety.
Right. Exactly.
We have that already with Jaquiski Tartt. And if you look at his coverage skills aren't necessarily that elite. They're not. He's a box safety. Yeah. He's not somebody that's going to be a ball hawk, right? If we're going to trade for somebody, we want somebody that's going to be a ball hawk. Right. We've seen what we could do with box safeties. If there's anybody I would want, it would be Malik Hooker.
Right.
Malik Hooker, now he has an injury problem, but so does Jaquiski Tartt, right? Malik Hooker can play 12 games and have 4 interceptions. Easy. He's a ball hawk, right? And the coach, they don't want to pay him. So that would be a guy that I'd rather have. Jamaal Adams, he's at least going to cost Jaquiski Tartt in the first. Like, they're not going to let him go for nothing else, right? If we were able to do that, I would be okay with it. But just know, he's not going to have more of an effect on the defense than Jaquiski Tartt because he basically does the same thing.
Right.
Yet he might get 6.5 sacks for safety. That's amazing. Like, you can't ask for more. He had the same amount of sacks as D Ford, even though D Ford only basically played, I'd say, 9 games.
Right.
Because
and D Ford only plays about 25-27% of the snaps. He's only on pass rushing downs.
Exactly. So it's just like, okay, yeah, that's amazing. He forces fumbles. So does Jaquiski Tartt. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I really don't. Will it push us over the hump? Will we get a little bit better on the back end against the run? Yeah. But would it make a world of a difference? I just don't see it.
No, because I mean, and here's the thing too. Look, I don't want to downplay my players at all, right? And I don't want anybody to take this anyway. But just remember, pass rush is gonna take care of all the things that in the secondary that you can't do.
Right.
Okay. Because even for a little while, when Akella was playing well early in the season, right? I was in Tampa week 1 when he made the pick 6.
Okay.
He looked good. He made an amazing play on Mike Evans on a play where he was beat and he got back there and knocked the play out. Like that, those were times where I was like, okay, Akilo's doing it. But then, you started to see later on the lapses and it's clear that Mosley is going to be the guy next year.
Right.
There's just so many, like the thing is the money part, right? So you're going to have to pay Adams, right? I am interested to see what Moore is going to do. Also, like, do you feel like this team is looking at Tartt like, okay, if you want to go get paid somewhere else because it's next year, right? Next year that he's a free agent?
I believe he has I don't know if it's this year or next year. No, he's not a free agent. He's not a free agent. He has this year, next year.
Okay.
So I literally know like all of the free agents coming up this year, and it's not Tavares.
Well, no, it's going to be a lot of our cornerbacks, and we're going to have to figure out a way to try and bring, a lot of it's they're going to have a tough decision to make next year about Uncle Sherm. To figure out what they want to do with him. But I'm interested to see the development of Travarius Moore. I think that
Tavares is more of a ball hawk.
Right, and that's exactly what I was going to get to. So if you remember the Super Bowl, right? Sorry guys, if you if you don't want to remember it, because I tried to drink it away as well. But that moment, Travarius Moore makes that play. And I
thought it was game over.
Thank you. Okay, good. You said it. I'm in Miami right now at this point, right? I'm in Miami right now, and that happens. And I turn to my cousin, and I'm like, I'm feeling it. Here we go. We're close. This is it. Like, all we had to really do was put points on the board one more time, and that's done deal. It's game over or whatever. Clearly, I don't mean to open up a wound, but Travarius Moore gets me excited. Like, I like it, because you've got, again, when the secondary doesn't have to cover for 4 or 5 seconds, anything like that, or when Nick Bosa is not being held.
Right.
None of those things happen, and Travarius Moore kind of is more that ball hawk that you're looking for. And it's funny that you bring that up, is because the 49ers have them already on the roster. So it's like, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. I don't see how that would exactly transform this.
Yeah, and the only thing that I would see that. So if we make the trade, right, we get Jamaal Adams, we can say, okay, this is our Super Bowl push, right? if we don't win the Super Bowl, we could trade his ass. He has a great season, right? He's all pro, Pro Bowl again. We could trade him and get more picks and another player. That's the only thing that I could see, because I don't want. There's other guys that I'd rather have on the team than Jamaal Adams, right? Like, I'd rather keep Kyle Juszczyk. I'd rather keep Emmanuel Mosley. Like, I'd rather keep DJ Jones. Like, there's other guys, you know what I'm saying, who have already played in the scheme and who is a part of the 49ers brass, that brick by brick mentality that we've been building over the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Going into the fourth year. So that's the only thing that I could see. We trade for him, and we're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, and then we'll figure everything out later. And if we don't, then we trade his ass and we get back what we traded for him, right? Because Jaquazi Tart, he'll be a free agent. So if he has a horrible season with the Jets and we want to bring him back, we can re-sign him and trade Jamal's ass and get back picks for him. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a strategy behind it, but I just don't really – it doesn't make sense for me.
The rental thing is a little bit of a dicey proposition, right? Because we've seen the 49ers do this before, right? They did it with Deion Sanders.
Right.
And they basically were like, you know what? This is the year and Deion pushed us over the hump that year against Dallas.
He did.
And I may not look old enough, but I remember it because I am old enough. I'm 35, so I remember.
Right.
And they immediately let him, they let him walk. So the rental pays off. If you're gonna take that rental approach, it better pay off.
It better pay off.
Right.
It has to. All right, man. This next one, this is about Adam Peters and John Lynch in the same one. Basically, Adam Peters, he's one of the guys that's highly sought out in the NFL. And what's been being talked about is promoting John Lynch to the president of player personnel, right? And then keep Adam Peters by promoting him to general manager, right? So we kill two birds with one stone, right? We're able to keep Adam Peters, which we want, and we're able to promote John and give him more money, just like we just gave Kyle Shanahan. How do you feel about that?
See, I like that, and I'll tell you why. There was an article that was posted today on WebZone about Rich Eisen 3 days ago. Apparently, someone on his show, I guess it's one of the people that's on his show. I'm not familiar with his show. But they started to break down who had the best offseason. And they brought up teams like Miami had an amazing offseason.
They did.
The Bills had an amazing offseason.
They did.
So he brings up the fact that Yahoo gave the 49ers a C- on their offseason. And
how did we get a C-?
Right. Rich Eisen went through the roof. Like, he went off. And he goes, let me tell you why it's hands down the 49ers. And this speaks to what you just talked about with moving Peters up and keeping Lynch. Continuity. Okay. This is a team right now that is coming back pretty much the same, right? You replace Buckner with Kinlaw.
Right. For $80 million cheaper.
And that's the thing. That's what he said. They restructured the cap. They keep everybody together. A team that makes the Super Bowl usually loses many members of their coaching staff and players.
A lot.
None of that's really happened. You lose DeForest Buckner. You lose Emmanuel Sanders. You replace them with cheaper, younger options in Javon Kinlaw and Brandon Ayuk, who are essentially the same sort of player. Right? Like, I don't want to put these lofty expectations on Javon Kinlaw. I know people are very, very excited about him because I know that he was widely regarded as one of the best.
That motherfucker's going to be a problem. I'm sorry.
He will be a problem. I'm certain he is. But DeForest Buckner was amazing for us last year, man.
Yeah.
And it's unfair. It's unfair to say that in year one, he's going to immediately take that role. But when you start to think about all the people that we have coming back, DJ Jones, Julian Taylor, who I'm super excited to see play some more, get a shot. The 49ers have done a great job of bringing everyone back. So the continuity that I'm talking about is the same thing when it comes to Peters and when it comes to Lynch. You essentially are keeping – it doesn't matter. Titles are going to be whatever. If he's the president and he's the GM, Lynch, Peters, and Kyle are all going to be working together on their player evaluations, and it'll be the same three minds in the same room with different titles. So I love this idea. Keep the band together. Next year we're gonna lose. Next year we're gonna lose Saleh to another head coaching job. That's gone. And now the idea that we can't, now that NFL teams cannot block interviews, expect a lot more. So the idea of continuity, I'm all for it. It doesn't really matter to me because the same three minds are going to be working on the draft evaluation and the talent evaluation, which it'll make no difference, honestly. It'll just give John Lynch It'll show John Lynch appreciation for what he's done. How beautiful is it, guys, that right now, for the first time in how long, we have stability in his franchise.
Feels good.
It's a beautiful thing. It feels great, baby. It's a beautiful thing. Like I to know that, you know, we're out of the Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly days and like switching coaches. We're out of that. Yes, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the trashiest person to bring on here because I keep bringing up like tough subjects and stuff like that. Like
it's reality.
But yes, this continuity that we have, and if they want to flip titles, whatever, it's going to be the same three guys in the same room in the same sort of way that they want to build this team, and they've shown us, you know, why this team was able to be so successful in such a short period, because they identified, look, there was misses, right? The first pick from Lynch's tour is who? Solomon Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, people can say that's a miss, but the problem is that you hit on Kittle, you hit on Fred Warner.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter where you took your first round pick. You already got two guys that are going to be all pros for the better part for the rest of the decade, probably.
Right. Yeah, most definitely.
And that's great for me. I love the continuity, and I'm fine with it. So I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Let's see. What's the next? This next subject is it's a 49er great. He went into the Hall of Fame. I think he should have been in, a couple of times. And he needs to go into Canton, Ohio, right? Like how many defensive tackles, get 90 sacks in their career? He had 89 and a half, but I mean, let's just say 90.
Yeah. We're gonna round it up.
Yeah. He played with us for 13 years, man. How was it seeing Brian Young going into the 49ers Hall of Fame?
I love it, man. Like, it's just that harkens back to a time that I can remember, like, vividly, right? Okay, so I live in New Jersey, right? I'm a 49er fan in the middle of Jets and Giants country. Yeah. And now you have to remember this time when Bryant Young was on the team, right? And this is not even me joking. The 49ers were here. The Giants and the Jets were down here. Okay? Yeah. So it always reminds me of that time, of like when we were the one of the top franchises, and he was a cornerstone, to that. And the problem is, here's the problem with the Hall of Fame. There's so many players. You cannot tell me that you're going to be able to get them all in. Roger Craig is not in the Hall of Fame. Roger Craig is the reason that there's Marshall Faulk, that there's Christian McCaffrey, that there's these guys that can do it all, right? This is all part of NFL history, right? The West Coast offense comes along and completely revolutionizes the game, and also starts to change the way running backs are used. Right. That needs to be part of the story. It can't just be all numbers, because there's people that have numbers, and you're just like, well, how did they get to those numbers? Context is important. And when you talk about impact, Roger Craig needs to be in. Brian Young is absolutely a Hall of Famer, and I'm certain. I can't name them off the top of my head. I'm certain that if we went and we looked and we saw how many Hall of Famers there actually are in there at his position, we'd find guys that he's better than him. He's better than this guy. He's better than
Facts. And Warren Sapp, he opened my mind up when he talked about it. He was on. He has a podcast, and he was on somebody else's show, and he said, and they were talking about Hall of Famers, and he said, I think it was on the Vlad interview, right? And he was on the DJ Vlad interview, and he said, there's a running back in the Hall of Fame right now with 10,000 yards rushing. Yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls, but he got 10,000 yards rushing. And he was talking about Terrell Davis, right? And I have to agree with him. Like, how in the fuck are you in the NFL, bro? How are you in the Hall of Fame? You only got 10,000 yards rushing. Yeah, you won 2 Super Bowls, but at the same time, bro, like, did Terrell Davis deserve to be going into the Hall of Fame before I don't know, Troy Polamalu or
Roger Craig?
Yeah, or right when John Elway was going in, like, nah, bro, like, he didn't. I don't get it, bro. And a lot of it is because the writers are the ones voting in people, right? And Bryant Young might not have been the nicest guy. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's just that he's not a sexy player. Like, you never think of him when it comes to like these gaudy stats, or you never think of him when it comes to impact or anything like that, right? So like you brought up the 90 sacks, right? Sacks is a good way to what's the word, I guess, evaluate a rusher's his effectiveness.
Right.
But pressures, I feel like, to me,
is more important.
It's more important, okay? Because
Right.
just because he wasn't credited for a sack, but because he drew attention and opened up a lane for somebody to get in, he's also a part of that. And I think that's what people are missing is the context of those things, because that's why numbers aren't the end all be all with me. It's got to be a mix of understanding the impact on the field and understanding, the number, the production matters also.
Right.
But,
let me add additional context to that. This is from Matt Barrows, some Athletic. Young won the team's prestigious Len Esmont Award, essentially an MVP award that's voted on by the players at the end of the season. In 8 of his 14 seasons with the team, that alone shows the respect and admiration he held inside the locker room. No other 49ers player has won the award more than twice.
Good Lord.
He won 8.
That's ridiculous, bro.
From his peers.
That's crazy, bro.
So
I mean, that pretty much tells it all too. Like, again, it goes further than numbers. It goes further than all of those things. And kind of what I wanted to touch on too, because Dre just said it too. So Terrell Davis gets in, right? Terrell Davis ran for 2 bands in a year. He did. He's one of the few players that actually did that.
Right? I think he did it twice.
Yeah. So
yeah.
The thing is that the sample size, right, is too small. Like there's a world where Terrell Davis is a Hall of Famer, and then there's a world where people will argue online, stupidly also, I might add, that Frank Gore is not a Hall of Famer, that because he's
oh my God.
And I just don't understand.
I don't, bro. I don't. Like, he's literally almost close to being in the NFL with his son, right? His son, like, just went to college, right?
I think that's him and LeBron are both doing that. They're sticking around so that they can play.
Bro, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? There's only one other father-son who's ever done it, and it's Ken Griffey. That's my GOAT. Right. Ken Griffey and his father played on the Seattle Mariners at the same time. Yep. You know what I'm saying? GOAT shit. All right. So this next
collected his cards.
I'm a Yankee fan, but here's the thing: I'm a Yankee fan, and he said he hated us, but I get why he did, because they wouldn't allow him to play on the field like they did with a lot of the other people when his father.
Right.
So I get that.
Yeah. All right. So this next subject is and I don't get this either. D4 possibly in the final year of his contract. Everybody who's watching, look at my fucking face right now. When D4 was in the lineup, we had 38 sacks. He literally played 9 games. The other games, he came out in the first quarter. The Cardinals game, the Saints game, he played 1 snap. Like the first snap, his hamstring was fucked. His groin, he was out again. He literally played like 9 or 10 games, okay? We had 38 sacks. Without him in the lineup, we had 18. Just put that into context, people. He's extremely important to this defense. I don't know why Niner Noise is writing this article, but I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, why is D4 so disrespectful? I don't get it, bro.
I think that it's the Twitter GMs, right, that are trying to count the money. If they're trying to count the 49ers cash, right, in their pocket, right, and they're like, oh, well, this guy makes this amount of money, and like I told you before, plays on 27, 29, 30% of snaps, right, on pass rushing downs.
Right.
But what you touched on is so important right there. Like, he would have to, like, whatever happens going forward, they would either have to work out a deal, which is less money because he got paid, right? So essentially what happened was they franchise tagged him, he signed it, and then they traded him to us. It's the same thing.
Right.
And they replaced him with Frank Clark, right?
Right.
So when you notice the impact on the field, right, and if we're nervous about our secondary, right, we're nervous, right, because if God forbid, and I'm going to knock on some wood somewhere.
Don't say it, bro.
God forbid Richard Sherman or Emmanuel goes down. God forbid, then we're in a bad spot. How do you stop secondary from not having to cover? It's because of pass rush.
Got to get to the quarterback.
Pass rush.
Got to get to the quarterback.
And the idea that when he's on the field, means that much more. Think about it. You got Bosa on one side, you got him on the other side, and then you got these guys in the middle. You're gonna have Eric, who's gonna kick in. Armstead's gonna kick in on passing downs, and now you're talking about adding Javon Kinlaw. I just really don't understand how you have a better core at this point when it comes to getting to the quarterback, and what D4 brings to this team is invaluable.
Bro, 27% of the snaps, and it cost 38 sacks. Do people understand that? That's just the regular season. That's not including the playoffs. Like, we were sacking the shit out of Kirk Cousins, out of Aaron Rodgers, and out of Patrick Mahomes. He didn't have a great day. He was horrible.
No, and
Patrick Mahomes was horrible, bro.
That was the worst game he's played his entire career.
Ever.
Yeah.
We made him look like a bum, bro, and people praised him. Like, no, he had a horrible game.
Right. To me, the Super Bowl MVP, it boils down to two people. It boils down to either Chris Jones or Damian Williams. Those are the two guys I feel like for me when I sat there and I drank a whole bottle and I watched it by myself and cried. When I watched who had the biggest impact on that game, it was Chris Jones. Chris Jones was destroying things. Mike Person couldn't handle him. And that's why when people ask why didn't George Kittle get the ball, George Kittle had to help block. He had to help. They had, they didn't have the option to send him out because at a certain point, it got to a point where Chris Jones just started dominating that game when the tide started to turn. And
bro, that motherfucker had back-to-back batted passes.
And
Gordon's wide open.
Yeah, Kittle's wide open on that throw, man. And if he hits him,
God,
that's game.
Yeah.
That's game because he's gonna take it a bunch of yards down the field, and we're gonna be able to get a new set of downs and probably put points on the board, which ends that game effectively. Chris Jones was a Super Bowl MVP, and to me, it's not close.
It's not close.
Pearson retired too.
Today, right?
Today.
Yeah. Good for him, man. He's gonna get a chance to spend time with his kids. I'm happy for him, man.
That's most definitely. And that all right. Before we get to the next subject, that leads me to another thing, right? People, and this is why I say we had the best offseason. Trent Williams, right?
And that's what Rich Eisen said too.
The Snyder fucking despise anything about the Shanahan family, right? And it goes both ways. Like, they both fucking hate each other, right? Like, Mike and Kyle did not want to draft RG3. They drafted him, and he was the rookie of the year, and he was also a Pro Bowler, right? So they still made it work, right? Daniel Snyder was hell-bent on drafting that guy, right? And it goes back to that. There's no way that no other organization would have been able to pull that off. Shout out to Coach Rivera, right? Ron Rivera, he went to Washington. He said, I'll be your coach, but you're going to have to shut the fuck up and let me do what I want to do, okay? John even said it. Like, him and Rivera were in contact about Trent Williams because last year it was John and Snyder. They didn't even let their head coach talk about Trent Williams. This year, it was Rivera and John. We got Trent Williams. Do people realize how better our offensive line is going to be with Brunskill starting at guard and Trent Williams at left tackle? It takes a huge pressure off of Jimmy Garoppolo. It takes a huge pressure off the pass game. Like, our offense is going to be that much better because of the offensive line. Like, I don't think people understand that, man. It's a huge difference, bro. I love Joe Staley, but he's not Trent Williams, bro. He's not Trent Williams.
I was literally about to say it's crazy to think that the 49ers upgraded a position that Joe Staley used to play. And as an offensive line, it's pretty well documented. The 49ers do not struggle running the ball. We saw it earlier, right? It's not that. It's the pass, right? And with the extra blitzes that are going to be in there, now you're talking about upgrading a spot. And Brunskill was fucking incredible last year, honestly, man. Like, and nobody talked about that. If he plays over a person, I think we're at least in the Super Bowl. We're at least in a better spot to win that game, I feel like. I mean, better than we were already in. But he would have been able to at least contain Chris Jones a little bit more, I feel.
A little bit.
Yeah, so what, me and Dre was talking about that earlier before the show. Like, why didn't they do that?
Yeah. It's tough.
Was it because because Person had more...
That's the only thing.
He was a vet, more experience.
It's tough to get somebody cold off the bench in the biggest game and send his ass out there and say, guard the guy who nobody can guard right now. Like, it's
right.
hard to do that. I feel like he should have just started Brunskill from the rip. If Brunskill starts and he's in the flow of the game, then that game kind of goes a little bit differently towards the end because, like I said, Chris Jones was the biggest impact on that game, hands down. I don't even want to argue that with anybody.
Yeah. Right. All right, man. And this is the last subject, man. Yep. This is another player that gets disrespected where it pisses me off. Mm-hmm. Nick Bosa was asked, who was the MVP of the team last year? Not of the defense, of the team. You know what he said? Kwon Alexander. He said when Kwon came, it brought a different energy, not just to the defense, but into the entire team. He's an outspoken leader. He plays his ass off. He trains hard. He created the Hot Boys. He gave us a moniker. Kwon Alexander, let's see. If I could, somebody that he reminds me of is Derek Brooks.
Okay.
Sideline to sideline, 4-5. Sideline to sideline, a monster. Both were big hitters, and so they would occasionally miss tackles, right? People don't realize is Kwon Alexander didn't have a missed tackle for the first 8 games of the season.
Right.
Then he got injured in the Cardinals game, which is the 9th game of the season.
Well, and remember what he injured. Like, he didn't injure his leg.
It was his pec.
Yeah, and that's
and then after the Super Bowl, 3 weeks later, they announced he also tore his right bicep.
Yeah.
So he's playing. He's playing with a torn pec that wasn't fully healed, and then a torn bicep, right? So, and I don't get it, bro. I don't get some of our fans, bro. Like, they don't understand. Kwon Alexander is that guy, bro. When it comes from sideline to sideline in coverage, bro, this dude flies all over the field. He's in every play.
That's what I'm glad you brought up. Okay, so I think that the first thing is the Twitter GMs, right? We're all worried about whether we can pay George Kittle, where we can pay all these guys, right, and all those things, right? And I think that because of how fast Fred Warner has played well, I think that people will start to think that, okay, we can get rid of Kwon. Now, but that's the point that I wanted you to say, because I was waiting to say it myself if you didn't. What you don't understand about Kwon is the coverage. He can cover, and that's important. The wide 9 is all about, what is it? All gas, no brakes, get to the quarterback, and if he hands it off, then tackle the guy who has the ball.
Right.
The idea that you can put a linebacker on a running back out of the backfield, and most tight ends, as long as provided they're not named Kelsey or Kittle, most likely, and have them cover. I mean, and I can think back to the Cincinnati game. You know, I know Cincinnati was terrible, but I watched this man run down the field about 15, 20 yards with the receiver and make an interception. Like, there's not many linebackers that can do things like that. And it adds another wrinkle because of his speed. Like you said, sideline to sideline, he's going to miss tackles because he's in position to make tackles.
Exactly.
Because, you're going to miss more tackles if you're in position to make tackles. But You're also adding another wrinkle to this defense when it comes to being able to guard a tight end, being able to guard speedy running backs, and you're a linebacker, and we can run. And the other thing is the fact that Dre Greenlaw came along and was just spectacular, man.
Dre Greenlaw is great, but he's not Kwon Alexander.
So, and here's the thing.
Give that up. They need to give that up.
What Dre is good at, Kwon isn't. And what Kwon's good at, Dre isn't. Right?
Dre Greenlaw, his tackling technique is perfect.
Right.
I will say that.
He misses no tackles.
He misses no tackles.
And I also don't want to, remember the Seattle game, he made that huge interception on the Hollister play. Russell Wilson thought that he was going to float that ball right in there. And
we thought it was game over.
And Greenlaw made an amazing play. But I think it was, is it David Lombardi? Is that his name?
David Lombardi.
Mm-hmm. David Lombardi, he posted an amazing article showing the passer rating between the two, and it's alarming. The passer rating for Kwon is in the basement. The passer rating against Trey is high. So that's the difference. I understand everybody is like, okay, Dre is cheaper. Fred Warner's cheaper. But again, what are you going to value here? And when it comes to coverage, I don't think the 49ers have a better cover linebacker than Kwon Alexander. And that's the wrinkle that he adds to this. And let alone the energy. When he's on the field and it's just evident.
You can't replace that.
No, you can't. And there's
bro.
There's something that needs to be said about having the defense, bringing them together that way.
Yeah.
He took the Hot Boys moniker from the trash Cowboys and he made it better.
See, this is the story behind it. Kwon Alexander actually reached out to Juvenile.
I knew that. Yeah, I'm just saying what the Cowboys fans are always complaining about.
We actually did it the right way. He reached out to Juvenile and asked him could he use the name for copyright purposes, and Juvenile was okay with it, and he okayed it. So we did it the correct way, and we also make that shit look better. And we're gonna see what's up when we play them.
Let me tell you. Look, as long as COVID is allowing, or if like we can, I doubt it. I mean, if we could, that was a game I had circled. I mean, look, there's two teams that I think every 49er fan can agree on, right? Like, I know we have our division rivals, that's fine or whatever. I don't hate the Cardinals. I don't hate the Rams. I hate Seattle.
I hate Seattle.
And I hate Dallas.
I hate Dallas.
And I'm good. And if
for a long time, I hated the Packers.
That makes sense too. I hated them because for a while but we
in
dominated
the 90s. Yeah,
and them and the Saints, their fans have a lot to say towards us, and I
Right.
love it.
They do,
because
yeah.
you guys are upset that like the Packers got dominated twice on prime time. The entire football world watched them get destroyed. This is the worst. That's the worst 13-3 team I've ever seen in my entire life. And the Saints, every year, all I hear is roster. This. You can't. Every time we play them, somehow we always walk away pretty much.
And the Saints are very good at compiling names, right? Mm-hmm. I'll give them that. They're good at going out and getting big names, right?
They have a top 3 roster for sure.
Yeah. They went out and got Malcolm Jenkins, but Malcolm Jenkins ain't looked too good last year.
No,
he ain't looked too good last year.
The Eagles were a mess last year.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They were a mess last year. Yeah, man. So that's pretty much, man, all of the subjects that we had.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Do you guys want to talk about one more thing? I mean, if you guys have, if you guys are good.
I ain't got shit to do. I think we're gonna do 2 shows today, and Brian ain't got nothing to do because, man, the energy at the beginning of the show was basically all fucked up, and when people watch that, they probably not gonna watch. So we probably gonna do 2 shows today.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, I'm good because my daughter's not in the house right now, so like this is like as free as it is for me right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
One more thing that's been floating around Twitter, and I'm interested to get your thoughts on it because when I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm wearing a Navarro Bowman jersey. He was my favorite player from that era and everything. Mm-hmm. And I love defense and stuff like that. I'm much more adept to breaking down offense, I feel like. Okay. So there was something that was tweeted out. I forget who it was, but there was something about someone saying, Kendrick Bourne has goals of being a 1,000-yard receiver.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay.
That was
so tough. Like I think this is a good conversation to have because I want to preface everything that I'm going to say about Kendrick Bourne by saying I love what he adds to this team. I love how hard he works. I love what he is for Jimmy, a third down guy, a guy in the red zone who has caught many passes. If he wasn't catching a first down, he was catching a touchdown of his catches. Like he had 34?
Yeah. No, he had 30 receptions for 358 yards and 5 touchdowns, and 27 of those 30 receptions were for first downs or touchdowns.
That's a big thing, right? But this 1,000-yard thing, it seems a little far-fetched in my mind. One, based on the idea that the number one receiving target, no matter how you feel, whether you want to think it's Debo, it's George Kittle.
Right.
I just have a hard time seeing the path to 1,000 yards for Kendrick Bourne. I am not going to be mad if that's his goal that he wants to set for himself. That's amazing. And I am not going to knock you for, he's been working. Like, again, this goes back to the Dante Pettis thing. One guy posts all his workouts. One guy never posts about workouts. And then the perception between the two. One guy's working really hard and the other guy isn't. If we don't know that for a fact, right? But I think that there's a lot of unfair things that were said about Kendrick Bourne. Sometimes, and I think
there was this fucking maggot on Facebook named Ass Cash, whatever the fuck his name is
on Facebook.
I mean, on Twitter.
Drake,
in Adam.
Ass Cash.
Did I say something off here?
At Cash. Yeah, a cash.
Put on all weekend.
About
this topic.
A Cash and a Varathon, whatever the fuck your name is, Ass Cash, A Cash, Akon, Ass Hat, Asshole, whatever your name is, you fucking bum. This guy literally looks like he plays foosball and fucking roller hockey. He's never put on a pair of pads and a helmet in his fucking life. And to go on Twitter and to say, you guys need to chill out, Kendrick Bourne, blah, 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 blah. Man, look here. Kendrick Bourne is from Portland, Oregon. I've lived in the city for a long time. My uncle works with his brother. Our families know each other. They've been acquainted with each other. I've watched this young man from high school to a small college in Eastern Washington and Spokane, Washington, all the way to the NFL as an undrafted free agent. Who the fuck are you to get on Twitter and try to humiliate this man and say he's nobody and that you guys are doing too much and he's not going to get 1,000? Motherfucker, you need to shut the fuck up because first of all, you're a writer who's never put on a pair of pads and a helmet before. I don't like that, bro. I don't like when people have never had any type of athletic ability and they down somebody, especially somebody who worked from the bottom. He wasn't a first round draft pick.
No,
Trey, so okay, what was the tweet about for the people that didn't see the tweet originally? That
I'd have to look it up too. And look, and I want to say too, also, like, because I understand exactly what you're saying about having never played the sport. Like, I tried to play football in high school for about like a week, and I realized it wasn't me because I'm not physical enough. I stuck to baseball and basketball. Like I went right back to basketball, and I was like, listen, when somebody hits me like that, it's a foul.
But you had athletic ability though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, a little something.
Boom. Okay. So the tweet was, if Kendrick Bourne's a 1,000-yard receiver for your team probably didn't win a lot of games. There's more talented receivers on this championship roster when healthy that deserve more playing time. A productive season for Kendrick Bourne is 500 yards. Now, there's a main part of that tweet that said, when healthy. When has Kendrick Bourne ever been injured? Have you ever even seen Kendrick Bourne walk off the fucking field limping? Has he ever been on the injury report?
He's been reliable, man.
He's a free agent, bro, and he stays healthy and he's available. And every time he plays, he comes up big time for this team. And for you to get on Twitter and say that bullshit, it really irks my nerves. Like I would slap the shit out of Ash Cash if I seen him. To be honest, I would slap him. Period. I don't give a fuck where it was. I slap the dog shit out of him. Because some people like that I feel deserve to be slapped. And I'm just being honest, bro. Now, is it realistic on this roster? No.
In the system.
Kyle Shanahan does not go to one guy repeatedly. He is going to have a game plan set up. If your weakness is guarding the slot and Kendrick Bourne is playing the slot, he might have most of the targets that week. If your weakness is guarding the X and Deebo Samuel is playing the X, Deebo might have the more targets that week. If your weakness is not being able to guard a tight end, which nobody could guard George Kittle, then he's going to go to George Kittle. It depends on what the team's strengths and weaknesses are. Is Kendrick Bourne, does he have the talent in the skill level to get 1,000 yards? I believe he does. But on this roster, it's pretty hard. It's hard for anybody to get 1,000 yards on this roster because the ball is going to be spread out.
Right.
But I for a guy to work that hard, bro, to get where he's at, man, I just don't like that people want to downplay him and shit on him. I don't like that, bro. I don't like that.
I understand that, and the thing is too about Kendrick Bourne is, like you said, he's never injured. So what's the best ability is availability, right? And you're absolutely right about that. Now, the best game for me, and I think that a lot of every time that I read the comments on certain tweets, because that one tweet I get exactly what you're talking about, but then other tweets were set off where people's trying to bring up the drops thing. No.
He only had 3. Right. He had 3 all season. Deebo had 9 drops.
Thank you.
Nobody talks about that.
I was just about to say that. If anybody has a drop problem and something that they need to fix, is Deebo Samuel, seems like at this point. Now, the Saints game, yes, 2 touchdowns, amazing, right? In the red zone, like the Jimmy keeps the play alive and keeps moving, and he makes a tough catch. I had a run play. I had a run play that I wanted to show everybody on here or whatever. I won't show it to you or whatever. I think I sent it out in a tweet, and if you guys want me to, just hit me up on Twitter and I'll resend it to you.
Yeah.
There's a big Matt Breida run in that game, right? Where George Kittle starts on the guard and then moves up to the linebacker, and Von Bell walked down on into the formation. Kendrick Bourne pinned him and opened up that whole lane for Breida to. So again, it boils down to, okay, are there more talented receivers than Kendrick Bourne? Maybe.
Yes.
You want to argue that? That's fine. You want to argue that? That's fine.
Yeah.
Who does Kyle Shanahan trust? Trust is what it is, right? And if Jimmy Garoppolo sees him on third down and he's moving and he's got his eyes peeled for him, like you said, 27 are either catches for touchdowns or first downs. There's something that needs to be said about that. Just because the stats aren't gaudy it undermines the impact that he has on this team. And I agree with you on that aspect for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Kendrick Bourne does not deserve slander. He's a very fun player to have on the team. I enjoy the dancing. I enjoy all that. Listen, if you're looking good, playing good, feeling good, do whatever you want to do on the field, bro. If you're producing, and that's it. And I know that somebody's gonna throw out there, he ran the wrong route. in the Super Bowl. Sure, that one route is what cost the 49ers the Super Bowl. Probably not, guys.
I want to ask people a question. Who led in receiving yards in the Super Bowl? Who? Where was Kendrick Bourne? So, I mean, it was only on 2 receptions. So, I mean, just people, it's irritating.
It seems like it got to.
Yeah. Sheldon Wadsworth. I appreciate you asking how to donate, bro. Like, we really appreciate that, right? But as a collective, me and Bronze feel like that we want to put in more work before we start asking any of our fans to donate to us.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it, but like, we don't want to be those guys that's asking for money until we get to a certain level, bro. The best thing that you can do is just continue to keep on watching, bro.
That's awesome.
That's all we ask. If you continue to tune in, even if I can't make it and it's just Bronze, or if Bronze can't make it and it's just me, or if we have technical difficulties, I fucked up last week. With some shit went wrong this week. Just continue to watch, bro. That's all we want. That's
Actually,
all.
We got the most viewers this week by far.
Really?
Right now, concurrent viewers.
Wow!
So shout out.
Wow! That's awesome, guys. And I mean, and like I said, I know who you had on, last week and everything as well too. That's exciting, man. And like I said, guys, thank you for having me on. This is a blast, man. This is the first 49ers podcast I've ever been on. This has just been an amazing experience, man. Just being able to talk with you guys.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, maybe during the year, you can help us break down film from the week.
I'm here for it, man. I am here for it. And I would love to talk with you guys about that. I am itching for a season. Please, guys, wherever you're at, like somebody wear a damn mask. Just look, if you're not gonna wear a mask to save other people, just wear a mask to wear for football to get started. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bronze, like, why are humans so difficult, bro?
They just are,
like.
Man.
Like if we go to the store, like, what's the longest time you're gonna be in the store, Bronze?
10 minutes.
What's the longest, bro?
Yeah, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You gotta know what you get.
I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't know why it's so hard. Like, I'm in my apprenticeship. We've been training for the last 3 weeks, right? I'm going into a different career field. We have to wear a mask, bro. It just is what it is. But when we're out in the field, it's open air. We don't have to wear a mask. Like, I don't get why we as humans just make shit so difficult, bro. Like, let's just wear a mask, maybe for the next person. You know what I'm saying? We might be asymptomatic and have it and don't even know we have it, but you might have a 50-year-old grandmother who might have diabetes standing next to you in the store, and if she gets it, it's a problem. Like, bro, do it not just don't do it for yourself, do it for the next person.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, if you don't want to do it because you're compassionate about another person, if you want your football back, do it. Let's keep it as simple as that. If you want your football back, please wear a mask, guys.
Facts. Right.
Again, Jason, man, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, bro, we definitely gonna be in contact with you. Sure. And everybody needs to give Bronze a shout out because Bronze found Jason and he contacted Jason. Yeah. So this is all Bronze doing, bro.
Yeah. Bronze, no, it's all collective, man. It's team.
It's a collective. You set this one up, and this was a great find, man.
I appreciate you guys. And Bronze, I appreciate you again, guys. If you're not using Twitter to build relationships, you're just doing it wrong at this point.
Yeah, straight up.
And like I said, this is amazing because Trey, you're right now in Oregon. Bronze, you're in Texas. Yeah. I'm in New Jersey.
Yeah,
we're all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yeah, man.
So it's everywhere, and to be able to have this sort of platform for you guys to just let a guy like me who's essentially just a fan at this point be able to speak. That's what's really cool about this. So yes, I appreciate you guys. I'm very
most definitely, bro. And we'll definitely be in contact.
Yes, sir, man. Everyone, make sure you follow Jason.
Thank you. I think I already got a bunch of followers because of you guys, honestly. So I appreciate that.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
All right.
We're gonna do the good show, man. I hear my baby crying over here.
It's all good, bro. They don't have to deal with it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. All right. So thanks everyone for watching. We're gonna go ahead and announce the winner of the giveaway, the Ronnie Lott action figure, and it's this guy. Spy Nick Danger, man.
Spy Nick Danger, man. Wherever you're at, bro. Like, I haven't seen you. Let me scroll up and see if I seen you comment in a while. I
I
haven't.
think he did in the beginning. Yeah, before the show.
Yeah, man. So, Spy Nick, go ahead and reach out to if anybody knows Spy Nick Danger, you guys like reach out to him. Let him know to get in Bronze's Twitter inbox or my Twitter inbox. And we'll get his address and everything. And man, we'll definitely get that sent out, bro. This was just a random thing that we did. We wanted to show some appreciation to you guys for rocking out with us. This is a Ronnie Lott action figure. It's a pretty nice treasure. You can't find Ronnie Lott action figures. It's Bronze has had this for a very long time. It's still in the package. Hasn't been touched. So this is a collector's item. The next fan giveaway that we're going to do is going to be at 1,000 subs. We're at 394 right now, right? So we're on the cusp. I'm hoping after this episode, we jump up, because usually what happens is between every episode we jump up about 50 to 75 subs. So the next fan giveaway that we're going to do is going to be at 1,000 subs, and I'm going to contact KB's brother through my uncle. They're both union guys. They work for the Portland General Electric Union, and I'm going to see if I can get another autographed Kendrick Bourne jersey, because I already got mine. That's not going anywhere. So I'm going to use my resources, get that Kendrick Bourne autographed jersey, and we'll do that fan giveaway at 1,000 subs. I apologize for the bad energy at the beginning of the episode. That was not professional. And I think we might be doing a number 2 today. I don't know what Bronze is doing. If he can't, then I'll jump on to do a second episode, because I feel like we deserve that. If anybody want to see a second episode in the chat right now, put a thumbs up or a thumbs down, just so I can get a feel of how you guys are feeling, because I wanted to break down Jimmy Garoppolo versus some Hall of Famers that you guys would be highly surprised. There's one that had 80 plus interceptions over the first 6 years. There's another who had 60 plus interceptions over the first 6 years. There's another who had 70 plus. I wanted to break down Jimmy Garoppolo versus some other Hall of Famers. And
you're gonna keep it going, Dre, or are you gonna do another broadcast?
No, I was going to do another broadcast starting at about, let's say, 2:15. It's 1:50 right now, so that's in about 25. That's in about 25 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna have to bounce, but if you go ahead and do that show, go ahead and do it, man.
Can we set up the broadcast and do it like we did last time?
Yeah. I'll do that right now.
Okay.
Cool, guys. Well, this is it for this episode, man. It was a great episode. Shout out to Jason.
Yeah. And then I'll see you guys at 2:15. That's in 25 minutes.
Cool.
All right, bro. Peace. We out. Peace.
All right, man.